last minute thing to do. I hope you guys are well. And I must bring something. I hope you guys are pretty well. I am very happy because yesterday we had a very nice session also in which we worked out some part of the dotting. And I realized we might need like one extra class or two to finish all the dotting details. I was recording something if I so now I'm placing everything here. I'm gonna put the camera to the other side so I can show you what we're going to be doing today. So last week we worked all this up, as you can see here, and unfortunately I couldn't do much of the lotus flowers work, but by all means today we will work a lot here over the center. There we go. So we're going to be preparing here some paints. I would like to show you a little bit of what I worked yesterday with the team in Spanish. We worked out part of the center and some of these petals that I hope you can work later on. So we're gonna pretty much do the same here. And there are always many people telling me like I have difficulties to pick colors. And normally I would like to show you what I do and what I'm going to do here, just to show you some contrasts. We worked layers over layers on the middle of the sushis. And this is the class that I had yesterday, but I do want to show you so you have other options. I picked a color that is not too similar to gold and that create a lot of contrasts. And then we were thinking about blue, the other colors doing this composition. And I picked up this color because I thought it was a better example. In this case, we could, for example, if I do use this color, it could be cool. It could be one of the options. This is the color that we were using the other day. And, but we could use something different, creating the contrast. So I was maybe considering working on this same color. We could use blue, of course, but I already have blue here and we're gonna work on some dotting to create a shading effect. So maybe it would be better if I used this color. I'm gonna be using full card, but you can use any brand. And the name is Perfect Purple. See, Perfect Purple. So what I'm gonna do now is just to prepare a little bit of this paint, and then I like this paint very much. I like also Liquitex. This paint also Pebeo. I don't know if you're familiar with Pebeo, but this color is also pretty similar to this one. And I don't have my Liquitex here. What I am using for when I work sushis, and this is something that I learned also with Leona, is that the paint must be slightly more liquid, because then the consistency we get when we do dotting, because then it becomes like much easier to drag. But I think I put a little bit too much, and this is something that I always tell the students. Working the consistency of the paint it's like a top priority. In this case, I really added way too much of water and a little bit too much of let me show you what I think the best consistency would be. See, I had to put some of the water here on the other side. And I'm just gonna mix these up pretty well. I also work with the Brazilian paints, and there are other brands with bottle paints like Craft Mart or in the US. You don't have to add much. See, but let me show you. I'm gonna put the camera just like this so I can show you how I check the consistency of the paint. Normally, let me put the camera more steady. I try that it looks pretty much creamy, just like this. See, you know, I pick a little and it separates, but you know, it's very gentle. This one is, for example, a little bit too liquid for dotting. If your paint looks like that, it's better to use starch or the Liquitex gloss that is gonna get you a better consistency. But you can tell the difference. This is much more this is creamier. This is way too liquid. And the problem with the paint when it is too liquid is that by all means we need to be very careful, because then the dots can get together. So what I was thinking, maybe, for example, another color that I could use blue, but I have blue here way too close, but it could be a good combination. Pink, this tone of pink is a little bit too similar to this. It's not gonna create like a good contrast. So let me just close the door, because I think my husband went wild with. My husband went a little bit wild with the volume of his conversation. So I'm gonna be adding a little bit more of this, and then I'm gonna be dragging the paint. And don't worry too much about the center, because in the end we're gonna add like a nice dots in the center. What matters here is that you have a look and you realize that you keep the gold in a similar size around the borders. See? And then this is very nice to do. I'm just going to take some time here to do this part of the dotting, because I think it's important to show step by step. See, if you pressure too much, there will be channels. I am loading the skewer with a little bit more paint, and I'm barely making contact with the surface, just to avoid having these channels. And then I'm going to be adding more paint. If you are dragging the paint, and when you drag it down or drag it up, you realize that you need more paint. See, there are some channels here. That's not what we want to have. We want some texture. Let me see if I can put the camera closer. See, then we add more paint to it, and then we drag the paint but without touching the surface, and this is how we do cover this area. Since I am going to be adding layers over layers, I am not putting more paint, but if you wanted just to have two, let's say only two layers, then the second one could be eventually higher. See, so we're gonna be working with blues and also with this violet color. See, I'm dragging the paint just to create I'm not worrying much about texture, just the shape. And then I load the tool, the pointy part, with more paint, and I drag it down little by little, slightly, without touching the surface at all. And this is, yeah, it takes time to get adjusted to this movement of the hand. See, for example, in here, I'm touching pretty much the golden background. Then I get these channels that don't look cool. What you do is that you load your tool with more paint. It has to be very creamy though. And then you drag it without touching the surface. And this is super relaxing. I just love doing this. See? What matters here is that you do enjoy. And when you pick the color to do that, you gotta think about which color could give you a nice contrast. For example, we have this color here, and it is not that close. We have this color. We could have done blue. I think would have been cool, but because of what I'm going to show you, an effect that I want to show you in a few minutes after I'm done with this, probably would be better to use a color that is a little bit different. See? So, and then we keep doing this, which is pretty cool. I'm just gonna be adding more. Not all the petals are the same. You can see there are some petals that are a little bit fatter than the other, but still the mandala will look great. I am confident as the Mandala of Confidence. There was one dear friend and student, Mariam from Morocco. She was asking me, like, Yossi, why is this mandala called the Mandala of Confidence? I was explaining her that when the pandemic started, I wanted to do something, to contribute somehow with people who were locked down at their houses. And I did a meditation and I felt that word. So that's why I decided to do this mandala and name it the Mandala of Confidence. Then what I'm going to do in the meantime, because then we're going to start dotting, I'm just going to very gently cover this part with a second hand of paint. See the difference? In some arts, I actually don't give it a second hand because I like this effect that, you know, the paint looks a little bit washed. I think it looks cool in some arts. I'm gonna be using a different brush. See, the other one is more like an outliner. This one, and I, more than outlining, I need just to make the paint even. And this brush is very gentle, so see, it's not angled at all. And see, I am working this project in other languages, and we're using different colors. So what I'm planning to do is to see, look at this, it looks better, much better. What I'm planning to do is just in the end, when all of these paints are done, probably just to make a short video and post, or maybe if you went to my Instagram, show all the possibilities of colors that you can actually use and get great results. There is another lady from the master class who's very special, Myra, from Illinois, Chicago, and she did a great job picking colors, and I think you can always get to use these colors that I am proposing to use, or you can pick your own. And this is it's pretty cool to see what students actually get to do. See, so this is just a second hand. I'm trying, this is not an outliner, but I am trying very gently to cover this. Also, there is another dear lady, I consider her a friend, Sharon. She did her own design. I mean, she took it from here, then she included like tulips, and her design is just amazing. I'm gonna try to put together this lady's work so I can show it to you all, and you can get, of course, inspiration. So now I would like to teach you or to show a way to do shading without the cotton swabs or sponges as we were doing before, just using some dots. And then you see what I try to do. Let me see if I can show you with what I did yesterday, and I want to show to you. If you look at this from near, you will see, well, that these are tiny dots. But if you look from further away, it would look like a shading. The farther you look at it, it will be a shading done with brushes, and it's done just with dots. What I think, the way I look at this, and this is what I wanted to share with you mostly, is that normally when I am work, depending on the size of the area, of course, in here, the area you see is very small. So normally I pick 3 colors. This is just to show you at least the way I think. And what I try to do is always have white. Then I have the dark version of the color and the medium, let's say, not so dark. So I have white, this is Calypso blue, and this is True Blue. Feel free to use, but this, what I'm gonna show you, works out with any color. So first thing that I am going to do is just to prepare paints. We're gonna use this in a little bit, so I'm gonna be using this part here. So I'm gonna use the blue, and this paint, let me see if it's better from here. I'm gonna be using just a little. So I'm gonna put some blue here for dotting, in just a teeny tiny bit of blue here. See, it's just a tiny bit. And then I'm gonna add water, but I'm not gonna do the same mistake that I did before, that I added way too much. And then I am just going to work on the consistency of my paint. You will see that I am not making too much paint because the area we're gonna be working on is rather small. See? Then you take your time to move this very well till you feel the consistency is creamy, as I showed you before. And then I am going to do the whole circle, okay? But because this is rather, I think it's quick. With the pointy parts, I am going to be adding dots. I'm gonna be actually dotting right in the middle of the border of the yellow and the Calypso blue. Just gonna be adding same size dots right in the middle before I actually start doing the shading. Of course, I'm gonna be covering some of the yellow, but that's fine. And you can make the dots as, I'm not doing them super tiny, they are like regular size dots. Something else, if you feel that your circle is not very rounded, you can always, that's why I'm not making a dot here yet, you can place your compass there, remark your circle, and then go for doing this outline. If this is the first time you're joining this class, you can check here in my channel. There are previous 3 lessons in which we sketch it, and 2 lessons in which we started actually doing all the process of painting the background. And you can do the whole thing because I'm keeping these videos here available. So take some time. If you're joining us for the first time, take your time. Also, at the end of the class, I would like to tell you a little bit about a study group we do have that is pretty cool. See, and it's about numerology, sacred geometry, and mandala painting. And for those who haven't heard of this program, I just would like to briefly show you the arts we're working, the type of mandalas we're doing, in case this is something that might interest you. So what I want to do is, if you already have the mid blue here, to create a shading effect is you could use the dark version here at the top, see, of the circle, and you could do random dotting just like that, but there has to be more concentration of dots here by the border. And then we're gonna do something a little bit different. Normally, I don't cover right away this full area. See, because let me put it closer. See, normally I really don't cover it all. I just cover some spaces and I leave some gaps. Because if the paint, of course, is not too creamy, then your dots can get together, see? So I'm going just to be doing random dotting. And it's funny because if you see it close, you will tell me, "Yo, see, that's a bunch of dots." Not say placed, nonsense. But you will see when you do this, the effect we create when you look at the piece from far. See? But it's important, if you look at from here, you will already get to see that there's a darker part here, and not necessarily you will be able to see the dots. You only will see a concentration of a dark blue color here, see, but you don't know they are dots. So normally what I do when I am doing this, I call it random dotting, because I am placing different size dots, right? Is that I wait, I make a layer, then I wait, and then when you wait, the paint is going to dry, and you will be, by in few hours, get to see the real gaps that you have, for example, and then you can get to even make tinier dots that will create this sense of concentration and shades. Now, what can we do? Now let's do the opposite. Now I'm gonna take the white color just to show you here, and just a little bit. I'm gonna show you. I'm off the camera. I'm gonna show you this to you just in a second. Okay, and then you can take these, see? And you take some of the dark blue, you mix up, and this is like a baby blue. If you have like a already in your paint prepared, like a super light blue, you can use it. See, I'm just, sometimes there are people saying like, I cannot afford buying all that paint. So by having white and a dark version of the color you like, you can create several colors. So now what we do is the opposite. We have a lot of concentration here of the light color. You still, let me put it closer. You will still be able to see through the not so dark blue, see, and then you do some lost dots here in the middle, but it's important that between the petals you put like a lighter color, that it's gonna give the sensation. You're looking at it now very closely, so you will not be able to see now what I am telling, but when I put it a little bit further away, you will see. So you could do white here, but we don't have much space. See, we will have more space in another place in which I pretend to do something similar. Then you can create many other colors. But see, if you look from too close, you will not be able to see. See? You will see a bunch of dots there. But if you look from further away, you can see that there's like a light below the center, the center flower. There is something going on in there. So this is just for you to consider. This is another way of working the shading. And today our class is gonna be short because I do gotta pick my kids earlier today. But I would like you to work over the center, and I also would like to show you something here in these petals that you can do in the rest of the petals. And then next week we can actually let this dry better and do some other effects. So now what I'm planning to do, maybe with the same blue color, there is something that I must say. I think if you haven't seen this class, between the petals there was this space. So what we did in that class, when you have a chance to look at it, we painted the border, just the border. That's why you still will see that there is a difference of color between the border and this part. And of course, this is supposed to need some layers, maybe one more layer to be like fully pink. But since I am going to be doing effects on top of this, that's not very necessary. You can, with a pencil or with a watercolor pencil, you can reshape pretty quickly. I'm just gonna do some of them, just these three, so I can show you. But what I want you to note is that this petal and this petal are sharing this division. See? So when this is something that might sound basic, but I think it is important that we speak about this. You can, when we are doing this, we can, I'm gonna be working with violet again. You could just go and place, see, this paint is too liquid. I used the paint that was too liquid, so I took it away. Let me use the creamy one. You can do tiny dots. See, I'm gonna be putting, and I think it's okay. You can make dots like this, or you could do two parallel layers of dots, or you could do just one. And when you get here, it's as if you were taking directions to the right, it's, you know, or to the left. See, it's like a Y letter here. Then you round, you can get to round the petals, see? Or you could have like two parallel layers of dots, for one for each petal. But in my opinion, it would be better to just have one, and as you come to the top, then you take your dot into the right and to the left. See? For example, these, I'm not going to be painting these, but I'm going to be sharing this part. See? So I'm just going to be working on 3 of these petals now, and then we can leave it for today. I think we will need like maybe a couple of more sessions, because this part, I think it's important not to leave it just like that. This is a little bit repetitive, that's why I am just gonna be painting 3 of these petals. But there are some parts that I believe I wanted to do a nice mandala, so I really don't want just to leave it like that. See? So you can repeat this outlining to the rest. And then we can work something similar like this, something similar. But see, this is the horizon between the pistachio green or olive green. So what we could do is just to do the same, but concentrate more of these darker dots here at the bottom. And you will ask me like, Yossi, but you're not using an intermediate violet color. It's because we can do this also with a color that does create some contrast, see? So I can see through the pink. I can concentrate a little bit of this violet color that does combine very nicely with, see? And in here, I just place some, separate tiny dark dots. And same thing here. See, random dotting. If your dot looks dry, then add more paint to your tool and create these tiny dots. But at some point, I'm not doing the outlining of the circle here because I wanted to show you a little bit different. But you can actually go and concentrate more the dots in here, and then we can always, for example, you can get white again, get the white color. Let me add just a little bit. See, and then you can add just a tiny bit of this color. It takes, see, it takes very little from a dark color to make darker white, but it takes a lot of white. See, maybe more, maybe a little bit of the liquid paint would do. No, I need much more. What I wanted to show you also is that if you have more space, maybe I can show the theory here with another mandala in one of my master classes. If you have more space, you could do more shading of these colors. You can actually create several violet colors, and then you can do a lot of the shading. See, now in here I'm gonna be concentrating more dots of the super light baby, maybe lavender. See, and I do some just random dotting, and you're looking at, I am showing you the paint way too close, but people looking at it from far away will be able to see a nice shading instead of looking at dots. See, this teeny tiny. Let me show you what I mean. This is the mandala from one of my my master classes. See, if you look at them, if you look from far away, you will be able to see. We don't have much space, but let me show you the idea. You will see here that I have a lot of space. So I am using here red, a mix of red with orange, orange, orange with yellow, yellow, yellow with white. See, you can get to see many colors. In this one, we're using only 3 colors because the space is rather small. But you can actually work this out in larger spaces, and you can change from one color to the other by working the random dotting. And this is another nice way to have this shading effect. Something that I am thinking here, maybe wasn't planning, but now that I have the color, maybe with this baby color, I could do a swoosh here, a very swoosh that is gonna make a contrast. Then it's a swoosh that is different. It's in the opposite direction to this one. So you could use any other color, something you like, but just to show you how this would look. And also maybe we could do something else that could look pretty cool as well. See, it gives a whole different view on this flower. Let me see. I don't know if you guys are enjoying, but I certainly see this is something that is enjoyable and is also very relaxing to me. Just placing the dots and just dragging the paint. Yeah, it's like what is called oddly satisfying, right? So, yeah. See, I would like you to show later on my Instagram accounts. If you post and you tag me, definitely I'm gonna be posting your work as well. So before I have to go, I gotta go, but before I actually go, maybe there is something else we could do. For example, this, you will see it's too light and this is way too dark. So I could take a little bit of this one. I could add a little bit more of this color, or maybe let's see. And then I get something lighter. Let me get this. See? And then what we could do also is that we could make a dot here that is going to be, you leave this upper side uncovered, but then you can drag the paint. This paint isn't, see, you can do this. And this is another way of doing shading. See, you could do this with this intermediate purple or violet. And then on top of it, when it dries out, we could do another layer. It could be gold. This is different from the work we did yesterday, because I actually did a layer of gold, a layer of the purple or magenta, and then gold again. In here I went gold, the dark violet, lighter violet, and we can go for several, see? Since this paint isn't fully dry, it would be cool if you just didn't pressure, see? You will be able to see if you could add many layers. And this is actually pretty cool. But it's important that you leave this section of the head of the uncovered, and then you get to go. Remember that you can watch the previous videos to create this mandala. Show me in your Instagram. My Instagram account had it used to be only dot mandalas for fun. Now it's dot mandalas for fun 7, because I am now a numerologist, and it's all about energy for me now, and it was better to add a number 7 to my account. See, so there you go. So it's important that you do wait. Have a look how it looks from far. See, it looks cool. I love it. See, we only used white, a dark blue, like true blue, and we used white and this color, that perfect purple, and then we created a bunch of colors here. And yeah, for next week we can keep working on this part. I hope to be finished, to be done with this section, and then we can keep on dotting till we finish the mandala. Do show me later on your work, of course, your progress in my Instagram. Let me just place this like this so I can show you a little bit. Well, we do have, and this is just gonna take me a few minutes for those interested. Of course, we do have the masterclass, but we also have opened a study group. We're studying karma. So I'm teaching people how to calculate their karma energy that is embedded in the name. And I am using the system, the numerology system that was channeled by a professor of mine who is in Venezuela. We worked out the karma number 1. You may enroll anytime. I mean, we work this sacred geometry because the karma number 1 is related to those people who really love giving to others. They cannot control that impulse of giving themselves to others, and the others don't even say thank you. And this is something that needs to be worked out to improve well-being, happiness in life. So we are connecting that numerology calculation with a symbol that is the sun. For example, unless you are a yogini doing Surya Namaskar every day, many people don't even say thank you to the sun. Like, oh, thank you, sun, for giving me light, for energizing me. So this is a symbol that also is helpful when you are low with your energy and you want to energize yourself. This is a nice mandala to work out. So you may enroll anytime. I'm gonna leave the links here. The classes are pre-recorded. People are gonna get, my students will get a bonus. This is the solar storm that I haven't finished because there's a construction, but my students will get that. This is an unfinished art, but this is for karma number 2 that is related to dependency. And the classes, this is the bonus that I am finishing. The live class is going to be on the 25th of April. No, of February, this month. So I believe by Friday I will have this piece ready, as I have this one. And this has the energy of the moon. You will see that the moon doesn't show if it wasn't because of the sun, because of the light of the sun. So how does this relate to this karma number 2? Well, in geometry, this is the basis of this design is the Vesica pieces. You will see that there is silver here, like the moon, and there's gold. That is the rays of the sun. And it's pretty much about people that came to this life to work out how to be happy without depending on others. Like, you don't need to be accepted, but there are some people that do suffer because they don't feel accepted, sometimes by their parents, by their relatives, co-workers, and they only feel happy if others are happy or if others approve them. So this is a work that we have to, the first step is to realize that we have that energy in our names and that we can work it out. And when you do stop to think about it and to understand sometimes why you don't feel fully happy, it's because that energy is in your name. But you have to take it to the conscious level and work some geometry and have that mandala in your house that will help you understand that you're constantly working that energy in your life. And then if you feel unhappy, you think like you snap your fingers, you look at the mandala, and wow, I don't need to be accepted by anybody to be happy. I don't need anybody's approval, not even from my parents. And when you think about this and you start allowing yourself to be happy and to have these mandalas as a reminder of the energy that you're working in this life, things become better. It depends on you. It totally depends on each of us. Even me, I am working this, and I wouldn't be teaching this if it hadn't been good for me. This has been a cure to me. So in the end, I'm just gonna leave the link if you wanna work this out and understand how to calculate your karma, the number that you will get. Karma number 1, the full class is there already. And by next week, I'm gonna be opening up the enrollment process for karma number 2. If you enroll in karma number 1, you get a discount in number 2 of 42%. So yeah, and we're gonna have stunts too. So and we have a very nice group of people joining our class. And I just wanna close my eyes for a second and wish you a nice day, that you can work the confidence of Mandala of Confidence, that you can think about how confident you are in yourself and in your capacity to create your reality and your capacity to be happy regardless of the situation you're going through in your life. So this is pretty much the message. We will see each other next week. We will keep on painting. Remember that if you're joining these lessons for the first time, you just have to go and have a look at the previous video so you can create your beautiful mandala. See? This is the one we're working on this class, but again, I'm gonna be showing you the other color that we're using. See, it's colorful, many colors. All the colors can be used. So yeah, I want everybody to jump in the pool and start trusting themselves without being a narcissistic, of course, but people believing that they can be as incredible as they are actually are. So lots of love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this. Love you, and feel free to join our study group at any time. Enjoy life. Life was made to be enjoyed. Enjoy it. Lots of love. Hi, Pat. It's so nice to see you. Namaste. Namaste. Bye. See you soon.